So, story time. March 21st, 1975, Malcolm Fraser successfully becomes the leader of the Liberal Party and therefore the leader of the opposition. Later that year, he would go on to win the election with the largest majority ever in any federal election in Australian history to this day. He becomes Prime Minister, a position that he would hold for 7.5 years, which at that point in time made him the second longest serving Prime Minister of all time behind Sir Robert Menzies. He's since been overtaken by Bob Hawke and John Howard, but still that means that he is the fourth longest serving Prime Minister of all time. When he became Prime Minister, he was only 45 years old, which also makes him the fourth youngest person to ever become Australia's Prime Minister, which, yeah, impressive on both counts. Speaking of young, he was first elected to the House of Representatives in 1955 at the age of only 25 years old, which made him one of the youngest members of Parliament ever elected at that point in time, and still, to this day, very few people ever get elected before the age of 25. March 21st, by the way, is not just a significant turning point in Australia's political history, it is also my birthday. Yeah, who could have seen that one coming? Today, I turned 34 years old. Hip hip hooray. Yeah, some people are destined to be overachievers and achieve the highest elected office in the entire country, and some of us are destined to obsessively make educational YouTube content for a niche audience of nerds. We can appreciate how both these things contribute to the nation. Maybe equally, I don't know. Me, Malcolm Fraser, who can say who will have a bigger impact on the history of Australia? I'm still alive. The youngest person ever to become Australia's Prime Minister, by the way, was Chris Watson in 1904. He was 37 years old. So technically, there's still time for me to become Prime Minister and break that record. Youngest Prime Minister ever in Australia. I just need like a lot of things to go really well for me and a lot of things to go really badly for like a lot of people, and I can just like Stephen Bradbury my way right into the position of youngest Prime Minister in Australian history. I don't actually want that though. That sounds stressful and bad. I don't think at age 25 Malcolm Fraser really had any expectations he would go on to become Prime Minister. Nor like do I think that like Paul Keating, for example, thought they're the same when he also was 25 when he got elected. I mean, they probably felt pretty accomplished and, you know, successful, because being elected at age 25 is a big accomplishment in and of itself. Okay, so like fun David law that I like do not really talk about. Probably haven't actually thought about this in several years. I actually wanted to genuinely run for the Senate back in like 2016. Which means if I had been successful, by the time I would have been sworn in as a senator, I would have been 25. Could you imagine that? Oh my goodness. Oh, 25-year-old me was a very different person. I think a lot of us in like our mid-20s have this sense of like, you know, like, what are we doing with our lives? Are we going to accomplish anything? What are we going to be doing with the rest of our lives? When I was 25, I genuinely did not think that I would be doing this. But, you know, we grow as people when we learn to appreciate new things. I used to not care about politics. I didn't understand anything about how Parliament works. But then, like, I just grew to appreciate it more and more. And now I'm like, no, this matters so much. I want other people to understand how it works too, so they can appreciate how much it is actually important and be confident to engage with it. Like, look at me now. I know so much. I can link my birthday to multiple events in Australian political history. The other time that March 21st is of note is that it was the death of Sol Roosevelt, the 11th Speaker of the House, which is a bit of a bummer to mention in a birthday video, so I won't. Forget I mentioned it. So yeah, I did not anticipate that I was going to be doing this several years ago, but now I've been doing it for 6.5 years and I've come to really enjoy doing it. And I genuinely hope that like my unending enthusiasm for the subject is going to like at least a little bit rub off on some other people and get them interested in it as well. Because again, I do think it genuinely matters to know these things. I mean, maybe not necessarily exactly when Malcolm Fraser became the leader of the opposition, But I mean, it's a reasonable day to remember. We can all benefit from people understanding politics better and Parliament. Okay, but now you're probably wondering, how can we celebrate you, David? It is my birthday after all, and you should be thinking that. So look, I don't really do this for the money. I don't really like plug my Patreon very hardly. I'm just like, yeah, it exists. Like, this is not a profit-seeking exercise. If I wanted to make more money, I would just make divisive clickbait or try and steer up some political views, which doesn't really work very well when you're deliberately trying to make non-partisan, neutral educational content for anyone. Doesn't really get those algorithm clicks. But yeah, if you want to give me like the gift of a few dollars a month for, you know, a while as a birthday gift, the link is in the description and I do appreciate that. Alternatively, the best gift is knowledge. I like it. Maybe other people will appreciate it as well. Tell people about Auspol Explained, share an episode or two. You know, like I mentioned, I don't really go for like, let's go for some emotive, divisive stuff to fuel the algorithm, so this really doesn't grow well unless people either seek it out or share it. And so do the second half. Help other people learn about how Australia's political system works as a little thank you gift to me. I don't dream of being famous. I don't dream of being Prime Minister. I dream of like helping people understand how Australia's political system works. And if that seems like a bit of a corny dream, you've never met me. This is not an act. I'm genuinely just like this. So the great thing is that I'm already doing the thing that I dream of doing. And while I did not feel accomplished when I was 25, I sure do now. And it's great. Anyway, my cupcake is quickly becoming wax flavored, so let's celebrate. For tonight, the only party I will be thinking of will not be political. It'll be the kind with cake. Anyway, here's to another year, and happy birthday to me.